Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Surface. I'm your host Amir, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about something that quietly limits so many of us, often without us realizing it: self sabotage. Have you ever worked hard for something only to get in your own way at the very last moment? Maybe you procrastinated on a big opportunity or doubted yourself just when things were starting to go well. It's frustrating because deep down, we know what we want, but somehow we block ourselves from getting there. Today, we'll explore why that happens, what it means psychologically, and most importantly, how you can begin to free yourself from it. Self sabotage is when your actions, thoughts, or emotions work against your conscious goals. You might want to succeed, to grow, to be happy, but at the same time, another part of you resists it. Psychologically, this comes from inner conflict. One part of you says, I deserve better, while another whispers, I'm not ready, or I don't deserve it. And that second voice is usually driven by fear of failure, rejection, or even success itself. In psychology, we see this as the subconscious protecting itself. Your mind would rather keep you in a familiar, safe zone, even if it's painful, than risk the discomfort of the unknown. That's why so many of us repeat patterns, stay in jobs that drain us, or avoid love when it finally comes close. Let's break down some common ways self sabotage shows up, because awareness is the first step to change. 1. Procrastination. You delay tasks not because you're lazy, but because starting means facing the fear of not being good enough. 2. Perfectionism. You set unrealistically high standards to protect yourself from failure. If it's not perfect, I won't try. 3. Negative self talk. You tell yourself stories like, I'm not capable, or I'll probably mess this up anyway. These thoughts create emotional barriers that shape your behavior. 4. People pleasing. You say yes when you want to say no, losing touch with your real needs. Deep down, you're afraid that setting boundaries means losing love or approval. 5. Avoidance or withdrawal. When things start going well, in relationships, at work, or in health, you pull away. That's the subconscious trying to restore the old equilibrium, the one it knows best. Think about which of these patterns sound familiar to you. Recognizing them is like turning on the lights in a dark room. Now, let's go deeper into why we do this. Self sabotage usually begins with early emotional conditioning. When you were a child, maybe success was met with criticism, or love was conditional on your performance. Your brain learned, if I stay small, I stay safe. Those lessons became subconscious programs that shape your adult behavior. In cognitive behavioral therapy, we call these core beliefs deep internal statements like, I'm not good enough. If I try, I'll fail. People will leave me if I change. They run quietly in the background, like mental software. Even when your conscious mind says, I want to grow, the subconscious whispers, don't risk it. Neuroscience also supports this. Our brains are wired to seek familiarity over happiness. That's why even unhealthy patterns can feel comfortable because they're predictable. So, how do we begin to move beyond it? Here's a step by step framework that works, one I often use with clients. 1. Awareness. Notice when and how you sabotage yourself. Ask, what emotion am I avoiding right now? Often it's fear, shame, or vulnerability. 2. Identify the belief beneath the behavior. For example, if you keep procrastinating, ask, what am I afraid will happen if I actually succeed? You might uncover a hidden belief, like I'm not worthy of success. 3. Challenge the inner critic. When that voice says, you can't do this, respond, that's an old story, but it's not who I am now. Replace self criticism with self compassion. You can't heal in a state of judgment. 4. Create small wins. Self trust is rebuilt through action, not thought. Start with one small promise to yourself and keep it. Over time, your brain learns that success is safe. 5. Visualize your future self. Imagine yourself free from these patterns. How does that version of you think, act, and feel? Let that image guide your daily choices. 6. Seek support. Whether through therapy, coaching, or honest conversations, healing happens in safe connection. You don't have to do it alone. Remember, overcoming self sabotage isn't about becoming perfect, it's about becoming aware and intentional. Self sabotage is not a flaw, it's a form of protection that's outlived its purpose. Once you understand that, you can begin to work with yourself, not against yourself. You are not broken. You are learning to outgrow the old patterns that kept you safe. If this episode spoke to you, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life are you ready to stop standing in your own way? Thank you for listening to Beyond the Surface. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who might need to hear it today. And remember, growth isn't about becoming someone new, it's about returning to who you've always been beneath the fear.